Hi there, Kim here of Willow Creek Somatics with an interrupted break to bring into your day to get some movement in your body. Our spine is designed to move in 6 different directions: into extension, into flexion, into a lateral flexion, and into a twist, rotation. Chances are, though, that we often can get stuck in one of those positions for too long of a time. For example, if you're sitting a lot, then there's that possibility of coming into a slump, right? So we come into a slump, the posture of the spine just goes into that rounded position, and we get tight at the front of the body. If we're working on a computer, then our head moves forward, and our head is like 10 pounds on this spine, and it can be very, very strenuous and make the upper neck muscles, back muscles very unhappy. So here's a little interrupted break to bring into your day, sprinkle it out. So we're going to come into these movements, into these postures to recreate the pattern of tightness so we can come out of it. So we're using a technique called pandiculation, which is a safe alternative to stretching. So when you think of movements that you come into, we often try to, our mindset might be, oh, I've got to move the other way and really stretch to come out of that movement. So we're going to play with pandiculation a little bit, which is what animals do to reset their muscles. And we have that ability to do that as well. And we just get a little disconnected from it. So we're going to explore that here. And what it is, it's a 1, 2, 3 process. The first phase is tightening the muscles a little bit tighter than they might already be, with a slow controlled release, and then relaxation, briefly relaxation at the end. So it's a 3-phase pandiculation, a 3-phase process that resets your muscle length. So coming from this, my muscles at the front are going to be short and tight if I keep coming into this day in and day out. If I'm in a on-demand move, go, 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 my back muscles are going to be in a contracted state. I'm training them to stay on, and that's, the brain maintains that pattern of contraction and supports it, right? As if it's normal to be in this. Or there may be a side slump and twist. So it's not just in our day of sitting, it's throughout our lives. Like, what happens? We live life and we have different stressors that pile on top of one another. We have accidents, we have injuries, repetitive strain, emotional, mental, physical tension. It all has an effect on our muscles. So let's take a break and pandiculate. So we're going to explore moving the spine in 6 different directions as we sit. So come to the edge of your chair. You don't want to rely on the backrest, and you want freedom of movement, okay? So feet are flat on the floor, and just start out by noticing, first of all, your sit bones. So when we stand, our feet are our stabilizers, but when we sit, our sit bones are the stabilizer. So dig in and feel around for them if you just don't quite connect with them, because oftentimes we can sit behind them if we're in a slump, or if we're in a really perky position and we're in an arch, we sit in front of the sit bones, or we sit on one side and one side takes the weight, and it creates this shortness on one side of the body, which also often results in a twist. So think of movements that are causing you to move into one direction repeatedly. So First, starting out, just noticing where your sit bones, where you land on your sit bones. Are you on the center of them? Are you in the front of them? And back to one side? What is your habit? Do you even know? Are you even aware of what your habits are? So try to find what's true for you right now, and then find the center of the sit bones and land there. And I find that once you land on there, once you connect on there, it's effortless just to sit upright. You don't have to force yourself into a position to sit up tall. Landing on the sit bones, okay? So let's experience coming into an extension for the back muscles to pandiculate the muscles at the back of the body by arching it. So sending the belly forward, let your arms dangle, sending the belly forward, moving the weight on in front of the sit bones. Allow your shoulders at the front to open up and let your shoulder blades come together at the back. Notice the arch. Keep your head level. If you felt your head went up, bring it down. So notice once you land there, how that contracts the back. So you pay attention to that. Put your hand actually behind you into this arch. And as you begin to soften out of the arch, you'll return to landing on the center of your sit bones and let your hand feel how the back muscles start to soften. They come out of that contracted state. And let's do that again. So sending the belly forward, pouring the pubic bone between your legs, letting the weight be shifted to the front of the sit bones, letting the back arch, letting the shoulders move back, and letting the chin, just let your head be level. Notice the chin, if you bring it down a little bit towards the chest, how that tightens the front of the neck and it lengthens the back. Focus on letting go, softening out. Letting the muscles that are contracted in the back soften. Let's breathe our way into the next one. Inhale and arch. Feel what's contracted, and as you release, keep breathing as you melt on out. Focus, put all your attention on releasing those muscles that have contracted to arch your back. And then land on the center of your sit bones. Now let's do the opposite. We're going to take the front of the body and we're going to sink it in towards the front of the spine. And what we're doing is flattening that low back curve. So we're coming into a slouch. Let that pull everything forward. Then bring your chin up to see forward. So notice how that lengthens the throat but shortens the back of the neck. You're pendiculating muscles at the front now. Start to release out of that computer slump. Any sort of sit slump. Notice how that opens and lengthens the front of the body. Exhale your way into the next one. Belly goes in. Shoulders roll forward. Allow the head to go with it. Look down at the ground. But then pick the gaze up so you look forward. Notice the shortness at the front, but you've lengthened at the back of the body. Slowly move out. Breathe your way out of it. Letting go of the tightness in the belly and in the chest and in the front of the shoulders. One more. Exhale, sink. Notice how the ribs press down in the front. Shoulders slump, chest sinks down. It's very difficult to breathe when the front of the body is tight and shortened. Breathe your way out. Come back to the center of your sit bones. Now we'll take this into a side leaning position. So we want to feel the weight transfer into one sit bone. So just allow all your weight to go into one side and then lean a little bit. So think of your armpit coming down towards your hip. I used to drive like this to work. I'm thinking of one position, one job I had 10 consistent years, and I had a habit of leaning on my console and driving with one arm. I did this day in and day out and day in and day out, and I got really tight on the one side of the body. So we've created tightness, now we want to come out of it. So allow the waist muscles at the side to lengthen, release, letting the rib cage open up. And then just come back to both weight equally distribute on both sit bones. Repeat that. Send the weight over all into one sit bone, and allow the armpit on that side to move down towards the hip. And the arm is just going with you. Notice the head went with you too. Whatever you're to bring your head up so it was level. Now it shortens on the other side. Come out of this, breathe your way out of it. Think of the armpit as just lengthening away from your hip, letting space open up between the ribs. And then one more time, 3 times the charm. Move your way in. Think of exhaling here as if all the air is being squeezed out, but inhale into the opposite side, this other side that's open and lengthened. Breathe in it and out it. And then send the breath back into the shortened side, come on up. Weight balanced on both sit bones. Take this to the other side. So take a breath in first, feel the length on the side, and as you exhale, feel that side closing down. Breathe into the other side. And then send your breath back into the shortened side. Can you feel the muscles of the waist lengthening, opening, ribs expanding, armpit coming out of the hip? And then send it down again when you're ready. And you're just noticing the habit here of one side shortened, one side lengthened, how that brings things off balance. Is this a familiar pattern to you? Does this show up in your day? Do you even know? And I've actually lost count. So we'll do one more for good measure, just in case that wasn't 3. I'm just noticing this shoulder's trying to get involved, so I'm trying to relax. It's not about the arms, it's about shortening the side. And then slowly come back up. So we've just went into flexion, we went into extension, we went into a side bend on each side, and then we're going to bring a little bit of twist into this. So just think of moving in your comfortable range, because the twist could be overdone. So just take your hand and start to twist to the right and place your left hand on your right leg. And you just brought yourself into a twist. And you're just going to spend some time breathing here. Notice what it feels like. Can you keep your weight on both sit bones? Come back to center. So you unravel, and then we'll go into that again. So traveling your opposite hand to opposite thigh, letting the shoulders relax. And you're finding that place in between comfort and discomfort. So when if you're, look for the boundary of, if you're bumping into something that, oh, that really hurts, then you're gonna ease off a little bit. And then bring yourself back. This time, let's breathe ourselves into it. So we're gonna take a breath in. And on your exhale, slowly twist back to the right. Let the breath flow in and out. And does it get a little bit easier? Does it get a little bit more freer? And then come right back to center. Notice what it feels like on each side in comparison to one another. Take a breath in, and when you're ready on your exhale, slowly twist to the opposite side. Pause, breathe, relax the shoulders. What is it like on this side? Come back to center. And again, when you're ready, exhaling, gentle twist. Weight on each sit bone. Moving away from discomfort if you bump into it. Come back to center. And then just one more time. Stay and breathe. And then slowly unravel. So that was just a short exploration of 6 different ways to bring your spine into the range of motion it's designed to come into. And we're just wringing out tension. We're giving ourselves a break, interrupting that pattern of tightness that can mount, whether we're sitting at a desk, whether we're standing for long periods of time, we're driving for long periods of time. There's, all these different things that we do in our lives, but become familiar with what your patterns are, and if there is a habit to be stuck in one of those ranges of motion for a long period, and what shows up as a result of that. Is there neck and shoulder pain? Is there back pain? Is there hip pain? Just think of what is present for you. And if you stretch and you're not getting the results that you hope, like if you're doing it over and over and over and you're never really getting rid of tension, what's that about, right? And how can you change that? Perhaps consider what's not working for you, just putting it on the back burner and explore pandiculation. And you can see that is very, very simple and gentle and safe to do, and a great way to break the tension that might be mounting in your day. So give that a try and let me know how it goes for you. I would love to hear. Take care.